Hi guys, how are you doing today? Alright, so what we're going to be talking about today is sunscreen. Yes, sunscreen. So, sunscreen is to protect us from the sun's ultraviolet rays. It gives off three ultraviolet rays: UVA, UVB, and UVC. So the ozone layer protects us from some of it. The ozone layer protects us from UVC 100%, so we don't get any exposure of UVC. And then the ozone layer protects us from some of the UVB rays, but not all of them. And then all of the UVA rays is none of the UVA rays is affected by the ozone layer. So we need protection from UVB rays and UVA rays. So UVA rays is the rays from the sun that age our skin, so make our skin wrinkly and break down our collagen. So that's what UVA rays do. They age our skin. And then UVB rays, they burn our skin. So they darken our skin and burn our skin. So UVB rays and UVA rays is what we need sunscreen to protect us from. The conventional sunscreens are not healthy. No, they are full of chemicals that make us sick and diseased. The ones off the shelf, they're full of chemicals that make us sick and diseased. The sunscreens off the shelf. Yes. So we want to go natural with our sunscreens because the chemical sunscreens, their top two chemicals that are toxic is oxybenzone and oxytenosate. I hope I'm pronouncing those right. Oxybenzone and oxytenosate are the top two toxic ingredients in conventional sunscreens that actually do more harm than protecting us from the sun. They actually enhance our chances of getting like cancer, skin cancer, hormonal imbalances, and sickness and disease. And they're not only dangerous to us, those two chemicals are not only dangerous to us, but they're dangerous to the water animals. So when these toxic sunscreens are wearing off in the water, it's sickening our fish and killing our fish. And we don't want that. I don't want to be eating sick fish. I don't want to be eating diseased fish. So we want to protect our animals. We want healthy animals, healthy ocean animals, healthy water animals. It's called marine life or reef. Healthy reef, coral reef animals. So we need to stop using these chemical sunscreens. But let me say this, the sun is more healthier for us than bad, so we don't have to be scared and put on sunscreen every 5 seconds. No. A lot of people are deficient in vitamin D, and the sun gives us our vitamin D. The sun is very healthy for us. So if you're deficient in vitamin D, you need to get out in the sun. It's good for you. It's more beneficial health-wise for you, the sun, than harmful. So the only reason why it's harmful these days is because our skin is not tolerant and used to being out in the sun. Because remember, back in the day, way back in the day, we worked outside. We were always outside. We were outside in the sun 24/7, and people's skin was not burning and was not aging. People's skin was actually, they looked better than us in their old ages. Their skin did not wrinkle as fast as ours do and burn as fast as ours do. Their skin was not burning and wrinkling when they're being out in the sun all day 24/7. So the only reason why we burn and wrinkle from the sun nowadays is because Our skin is not used to the sun. We live inside, we work inside, we're barely in the sun. So that means when we get out in the sun, our skin kind of freaks out and is not used to the sun, and the UVA rays the UVA rays wrinkle our skin and age our skin, and the UVB rays burn our skin. B for burn. That's how I remember it. B for burn. So UVB burns our skin, and A for age. UVA rays age our skin. So I do not wear sunscreen every day because I know the sun is more beneficial for vitamin D than it is for causing skin cancer and diseases and sickness and burns and aging my skin. I know it's more good for my skin than bad. So, but I do wear sunscreen when it's appropriate. When I know I'm going to be out in the sun for over an hour, I'll say over an hour, I'll put on sunscreen. That's usually like basically in the summertime. It's too cold to be out here in the wintertime. I do not like to be cold, so yes. Like when I take the kids out to the park in the summertime, or in the spring when it's kind of nice outside, and in the fall when it's kind of nice outside, but in the winter time, no, I'm not a cold person. And so when I take them out to the park, we'll put on some sunscreen if we're going to be out there over an hour. And on vacations, when we go to the beach and be out in the ocean all day, and be out on the sand at the beach all day, or at the pool all day, outdoor pools, that's when sunscreen is necessary. And another thing, I don't think sunscreen is necessary to be reapplied because sun is good for you. After it wears off, most bottles of sunscreen wear off like after 2 hours. So if you're gonna be outside for an hour more or 30 minutes more, I don't think it's necessary to reapply because vitamin D is good for you. Get some sun. Yes, get some sun. Get some sun. You don't want to block your skin from sun 100%. Alright, so how we switch to natural sunscreens is to find sunscreens that the sunscreen protection is coming from zinc oxide. So sunscreens that are basically the most ingredient is zinc oxide, that is natural for you to protect you from the sun. Now with zinc oxide, you can get regular zinc oxide sunscreens, or you can get non-nano zinc oxide sunscreens. Regular zinc oxide sunscreens have nanoparticles which absorb into the skin. Since we use moisturizers to nourish and absorb into our skin, we don't need a sunscreen to nourish and absorb into our skin. So the sunscreen should not be absorbing into your skin. The sunscreen should sit on top of your skin as a shield from the sun. So for it to not absorb into your skin and to sit topically on top of your skin to shield your skin from the sun, we want to get non-nano, which is bigger particles that are unable to absorb into your skin. So non-nano sunblock or sunscreen. Non-nano sunscreen with zinc oxide as the sun protection. So the active ingredient should be zinc oxide, not none of those other ingredients like oxybenzone and octinoxate. No, harmful to you and harmful to the water animals. So zinc oxide, which is non-nano, is the healthiest route to go. So that is why we don't want our sunscreen to absorb into our skin, because we want it to shield us from the shield us from the sun, not absorb into our skin. It doesn't need to nourish our skin in any way. It needs to sit on top of our skin and shield our skin from the UVA and UVB rays. Now, most sunscreens, or all sunscreens, they have SPFs on there. All sunscreens have SPFs, and SPF is usually talking about UVB rays, which keep you from burning, keep your skin from burning. To get actually UVB and UVA ray protection, you want to get broad spectrum. Broad spectrum means UVA rays are also being you're also being protected from UVA rays from the sun. So that's what broad spectrum means. If it doesn't say broad spectrum, it's just protecting you from burning, which is UVB rays. Alrighty, and also, if sunscreens say more than 50 plus SPF, that is a scam. They are tickling your ears. Nothing is more protection than 50 plus. 50 plus meaning it could go up to 51 SPF, but they don't put 51 SPF on there. They just, if it goes over 50 SPF, it's going to say 50 plus, and there's nothing higher than 50 plus. So here's the scale. SPF of 15 is like 92 to 93% protection. And then SPF of 20 is like 94-95% of protection. And then SPF of 30 is like 96-97% of protection. And then SPF of 50 is like 98-99% of protection. And then 50 plus is like 100% protection. So there's nothing more than 100% of protection. So that's why anything that says over 50 plus is a scam. You can't get over 100% of protection. 100% is all protection. All right, so that's with SPF. And also with sunscreens that say sheer or transparent or invisible, that usually means it's nanoparticles in it. So that means it's going to absorb in the skin, which we don't want. So we want to stay away from sheer protection, or sheer, when you apply it, it's sheer or invisible or transparent, because we don't want it to absorb in the sun. We want non-nano sunscreens that sits on top of the sun. That sits on top of your skin and protects your skin. Protects your skin from the rays. And I said broad spectrum. Broad spectrum means it's protecting you from UVA rays also. Alright, so that's about it for sunscreens. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to put it in the comments and let me know. Alright, so subscribe, like, and share. And see you next time. Have a blessed day. Bye bye, guys.